Hello everyone and welcome back to another OMSI 2 bus simulator video on the Andwell Bus Videos YouTube channel. I'm Andwell Bus Videos, otherwise known as Andwell Central, depending on what day of the week and what video you are watching. And welcome to what will be, for now, our final video in the epic mini OMSI 2 series that we've done around the release of the tremendous Studio Polygon Beat and Bailey Harrogate Repaint Pack by Amethyst Studios. Previously, this is Alex. Amethyst Studios has done a tremendous job on these repaints, pretty much recreating every single livery that Beat and Bailey Renowns that have operated in public service have worn in Harrogate, right from this one at the very beginning of the era all the way to the liveries that they wore before they were withdrawn. Now, we started in the modern era and we have made our way back to the first livery. The very basic, very simple, no branding, but the first livery, the first batch of Beat and Bailey Renowns that I believe were in 1998, and I believe they were the W Regis, like this one, W616CWX, were launched in Harrogate, the original Harrogate and District livery. So in this video, we're going to drive the SC1, the route I've already planned the bus up for, and now we'll get this bus started up. We are going to drive it on the SC1 service, the school bus service, from Sheepton Marketplace through some of the villages all the way through to Oatford School. Now this one we don't have the blind set up, unfortunately, for the Oatford map. So I've obviously used this on here with roller blinds, so I can display the number, but no blind that would be semi-realistic for some school services. So we'll get the bus check. And then this is 616. I believe it's something else now in the current renumbering scheme. Oh, it's done it again where it likes to. It keeps doing that at the moment, where a fair few other times it will just do that, and then it will start bleeping on the next one, and and then the number at the back's not come up at all. It's just all a black display. You can see where the different digits are, but it's just not come up whatsoever. Get a screenshot, that looks relatively nice. So yes, it's been an absolute blast driving these repaints and just having the excuse to just drive the Renown around. It has been really nice. I will be occasionally revisiting some of the other repaints that I didn't cover, because I haven't driven every single one, but I will be revisiting some of the ones that I didn't cover at a later date. That I do hope to. Okay, you go then. That I do intend to showcase at some point. A few of the Transdev in Harrogate era, the Route 1 brand that they had, because we did the Nidderdale one, we didn't do the Route 1. So little bits like that I just want to go over at some point in the future. So there'll be sort of peppercorned in between other videos of me driving with other buses, because I think we've covered the basics of this repaint. Though there's a lot more to it, we have covered the basics. So I do like driving the SC1. I prefer it, I think, to just driving the 90, although I much prefer the 90 to the 55 in this game. And the only thing I don't like about the 90 is it misses out these villages, and then you've got the rather pointless 87 and 88 services that are very, very short. I think it would have been a lot better to get the 90 to serve villages like this, or to do it alternatively with like the 90 and the 91. I think I'd have enjoyed that a little bit more. That's why I like the SC1, because it just goes into all the different estates and things, and you feel like there's a bit more of a purpose to it all. A bit more of a purpose, and you get a bit more of a challenge rather than just staying on the main road all the time. I was hoping it would do low revs, and not just rev like no tomorrow and then lose them all when I set off, because I was kind of hoping for some little revs that would help me set off, but the lighting is perfect on the rear. Okay, that's the opposite to where we're facing. Seems about right. It's a shame I never got to see this livery in person. I've seen plenty of photos of it, and although it's basic, I do love the livery. It is really, really nice. I also think it's rather intelligent having the red at the bottom and the cream at the top, not just for styling, but also because it's a rather dark red. Oh, okay, fair dues. Because it's a slightly darker red, you won't notice the mud as much to, let's say, the livery was the other way around and you have the cream at the bottom. So also having a singular livery coat at the bottom also makes it easy to replace panels and things with damage, so you're not having to mismatch panels if pretty much all the skirting panels on all the buses are red. So there's bits like that that just make life a bit easier. So although it's a basic livery, it looks good and it's sort of logical and practical. Goodness, he properly launched it round that corner. That's why I sort of thought I'd better actually curb it a little bit, because he swung right out. Swung right out and took me rather by surprise. Oh, that looks good. I like that. That I approve of. That does look very nice. There we go. Yeah, no, I definitely got the better one. In fairness, though, the irony behind it is W616 CWX is now a My Bus school bus. Or at least it was. I don't know if it's one of the ones they've sold off recently, but it definitely was a Transdiv Keighley-based My Bus liveried school vehicle that featured the high-back seat-belted seats that they put in these for when they were converted for schoolwork. that partition in the middle, because of how big it is, I do now understand why, as a kid travelling on these buses, drivers would regularly open the doors on them at junctions like that, because that strip in the middle, in between the two separate doors, is such a big blind spot, especially when you've got like a road like that that winds directly there. So I do understand that. Now we can see what this bus is made of, as per. I mean, it's not as fast as, let's say, the veiling pack. The face structure repaints for that are phenomenal, not just because of how realistic they are and how cool they look, but also because of how fast the bus goes itself. They're just phenomenal. I mean, this isn't doing too bad, to be fair. I've absolutely no way of... I'll have to put the hazards on. I know, I have a feeling we don't go in there, we go main road. I had a feeling that we didn't, because it wouldn't make any sense to go in there, and I'm quite certain in the other direction I've never been in, with it being a school service, but I don't think I've driven it ever in this direction to school, so kind of wanted to check just to make sure, because it wouldn't feel as much of an achievement if I got to the school and it didn't come up with the end of duty summary. And that junction going the other way always catches me out, because I always forget it's there, and I always absolutely floor it going in the other direction and get to that junction and go, okay. There are a few times I've just flown over that junction because I've forgotten it's there till the last second, absolutely flooring the eclipse, and just had to swing it round the corner in hope that there's no cars coming. So far I have been lucky there, but it's one of those that is so easy to forget about. Interesting place to put a crossing. I do know that one of these, I cannot remember which one, it might be this one, it might be another one, but there is definitely one of these that is in preservation, and one of the old MyBus ones. It's based at the Eastern Bus Enthusiasts group, owned by one of their members. I've not had the privilege of sampling it yet, because when I attended the Fenland event, as you will have seen on the Admiral Central channel, if you want to have it, do go and check out that video. Unfortunately, it wasn't rostered up for the event this year, but I do hope to sample it at some point in the future. That would be quite nice. Because having sort of photographed all of those high back-seated Renowns leaving the depot on after going out to do afternoon school contracts and things like that, it would be quite nice to say I've sort of sampled a vehicle of that specification and preservation. Would be quite nice. See, I don't know how early or how late we are because the GUI is not working, so it's not the red lettering. What's that car doing? Okay, did some sort of twirl. But the red lettering is not coming up for some reason. Sometimes it does it, so I can't check how early / late we are. So I'm kind of just going around the route, hoping for the best. I do like this map. It is one of the more random maps that I like, but I do really like driving it. I think it's just because of how the routes are set up, it's just a bit different. I do also love these villages. I think it's just a setup of going and flooring it along all these country roads, and then going through these tiny little, like, narrow villages as well. The combination just good. I mean, it's like Smarden, although I'd absolutely love just driving something like the C200 round Smarden that you know will get round, but it'll be like one of these only just kinds of jobs. That's the kind of thing I do like. What is it that's making that banging sound, I think? Because I'm quite certain that that's shut properly. But one of them mustn't be. So go right up the backside, because that's not going to end well for any of us here if you do. Hang on, you're seriously telling me you can't get through that? Oh my goodness, okay. Shot round that corner then. I thought that van was about to do the same, then we were about to get eaten by a van. In fairness, that junction always catches me out for some reason with cars. In both directions. Both directions, I always have to do some reversing. I mean, I remember the worst time I had it where I met a bus, and that was quite bad. Meta literally got ready to turn and then taking it slightly wider on the junction because you can't get out otherwise in a long bus. And the other 55 comes round the corner. Over 90, it's 90 route, is this, isn't it? Not the 55. The other 90 route goes the other way, and it turns around the corner first, and I had a queue of cars. I was like, okay, how are we going to work it here? I think I was filming at the time. I think it is a video out there. And I'm quite certain I was driving the Eclipse, because I had to just do some right manoeuvre to get out of it. Because obviously traffic can't reverse. Now this reminds me of Gatterville does this section, so that's why I like this bit. I feel like I should have a turn off to the right very shortly. With it being Gatterville, go along some narrow road with tight, with like a tight narrow road with tall trees either side. I feel like I should be going down that and going to Loy Vanilla or something like that, or Loyla, I think it was. I always called it Loy Vanilla, but it wasn't. Then Esta Fuisgen, I think it was. I remember all the places, and now looking back, I also think, how on earth did you get those pronunciations? Because I'm sort of seeing the words in my head, and I'm kind of like, where did I get the pronunciation for that place from? There we go, and then excellent. That worked out quite nicely. It's not usually that good. As the doors close, the light changes. That was very good, was that? No messing about here. I believe I'm roughly running just to time. If I looked at how long it was supposed to take, I don't think I'm far off the actual schedule at all. So there we go. So the college, we've got one for the college. We've got one getting on at the college for the school. These are all very interesting looking high school kids, because that's the school that we're doing, Oatford School. Yeah, we are. We're only 3 minutes. We're only 3 minutes early. To see how quick I've been driving about, that's absolutely nothing. It's what we want. A nice and tight timetable. And another Thames Travel bus. Thames Travel have an interesting fleet. Very interesting fleet. And some of their drivers have an interesting driving style. I remember the one, I think it was the second Thames Travel bus I went on, and the driver absolutely floored it through Oxford. Now, don't get me wrong, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was B7 Gemini, it was very, very nice. However, we were flooring it through the literal city centre of Oxford. So we're talking like 20-mile-an-hour zones, and I'm quite certain that said driver was doing double that speed limit. So it was an interesting run, so to speak. I mean, it was okay. I'm still here to tell the tale, so it wasn't too bad. Even though another car was just going to emerge anyway. Oh no, we've got lucky. So there we go. So instead of going into the centre, we now whiz all the way round the back to the high school, or school I think it is, or school generally. There's a mini roundabout circle there, I'm sure as to why. Oh, and now the signage has changed colour as well, it's now blue. I feel like I pull into the actual school. There we go, we'll drop them off in the actual school. Don't mind, there's people waiting to get on a school bus at 8 o'clock in the morning from the school. Does strike me as strange. Oh, we only got here 3 minutes early. Not in service, there we go. Yeah, we are all empty, just wanted to make sure before I left the school. Wouldn't be that much of a good look even in a simulator. I've never been down this road in the game. I think I need to do the 55 in the opposite direction at some point. Because I do not recognise this at all. I know where it brings us out, but it's not actually particularly where I want to be. I need to be at that other bus stop, but that's also a very tight turn for a bus. And because I'm flooring it, the cooling fans come on again. Albeit not as loud as the previous video. Well, yeah, it was the previous video actually. Oh, let's just ignore that car that bipped out of nowhere. And there we go. So we've dropped the bus off at the centre of town, ready for a day on the 90, so we will end the video off there. That was a lovely run on the SC1. I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed having a little drive on it. Forgot how nice the run is. And we've also found out I need to drive the 55 again. As much as it's just not a route I tend to drive, I think we need to do an inbound to Oatford run on it at some point, because I don't think I've actually done that. So yes, hopefully this mini-series that I've done has been a lovely watch. I hope you've enjoyed seeing all the repaints. Those of you who have done the research into Harrogate District before or grew up there, I hope it's been a nice trip down memory lane. And as I say, although we'll be going back to just driving all sorts of random buses and random maps and random routes, I do look forward to revisiting some of the repaints of this excellent repaint pack by MFA Studios at a later date. So I will be, oh, that's a van. I will be revisiting or visiting some of the repaints I didn't cover in this mini-series at later points. So do keep sending in your suggestions if there is one that you do want to see. For now though, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, then do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from the simulation section, as well as an archive of over 5,000 backseat and engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. With buses, trams, trains and more, there's something on there for everyone with additional 21 videos added per week, as well as if you do look in the Transdev playlist in the archive, you will find a number of videos of the Transdev Renowns, both from Harrogate and District later era, as well as from Keighley and the other surrounding Transdev businesses. Once again though, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Goodbye for now. Bye!